All right, let's dive into what could be the single most important transition in the entire history of life on Earth. We're talking about Max Tegmark's incredible book, Life 3.0. And this isn't just about some cool new gadget. This is about a fundamental rewrite of what it even means to be alive.
Everything really starts with this one mind-blowing idea. For almost all of time, the universe was just there, a bunch of matter and energy doing its thing. But then a tiny part of it, that's us, woke up. We started looking around, asking questions, and trying to piece together the story of everything.
And that leads to a huge question. What if the next stage of cosmic consciousness isn't like us at all? This isn't science fiction anymore. The very real possibility that the next intelligence explosion will be artificial means we have to start talking about it right now. To really get a handle on this, we need to zoom way out. So let's start with Section 1, a universe waking up. You know, for most of cosmic history, things changed incredibly slowly. Then, bam, life appears. And then, in what's just a cosmic blink of an eye, you get human intelligence. Each step is a massive acceleration in complexity. And a lot of experts believe we are standing right on the edge of the next great leap, one that could unfold within our own lifetimes.
Okay, on to Section 2, the 3 stages of life. This is a super helpful framework from the book, and it all comes down to one simple idea: a life form's ability to design itself.
So, Life 1.0 is purely biological. Think of a bacterium. Its body, its hardware, and its instincts, its software, are both determined by slow, painful evolution. Then you get Life 2.0. That's us. Our hardware, our bodies, are still evolved, but we get to design most of our own software by learning. And then, there's Life 3.0. This is the real game changer. A life form that can design both its hardware and its software, totally breaking free from the slow pace of evolution. Just look at how fast we can adapt. A bacterium might take thousands of generations to evolve a new trait. But a person? You learn you have a peanut allergy once, and you instantly update your software to avoid peanuts for the rest of your life. That ability to learn, to rapidly design our own mental software, well, that's our superpower. It's how we went from the savannah to the moon. And this is the crucial point. Artificial intelligence isn't just another technology. It represents the potential dawn of Life 3.0. An intelligence that can upgrade its own body and mind, on its own terms, would be a shift in the cosmic story as big as the first cell splitting in two.
So, what is the fuel for this engine? It's intelligence itself. Let's move on to Section 3, Intelligence Unbound. And to do that, we kind of have to redefine what we mean by intelligence.
Tegmark's definition is beautiful because it's so simple. It's not about being conscious or feeling emotions. It's just the ability to get things done, to achieve complex goals. And this is so important because it gets us out of our own biological box about what intelligence is supposed to look like.
This idea is called substrate independence. Basically, intelligence is just information processing. It doesn't care if it's running on squishy neurons made of carbon or on shiny silicon chips. The physical hardware doesn't matter nearly as much as the computation itself. I love this metaphor. Picture everything humans can do as a giant landscape. For a long time, the rising tide of AI was just flooding the lowlands, things like pocket calculators doing arithmetic. But now that tide is rising faster and faster. It's covering things like driving, or writing, or creating art. The real question is, how high will the water get? Will any of our mountains, even the peaks we call creativity, remain above the water? Which leads us to the big what if. Section 4, Possible AI Futures. If we actually succeed, if we build a true superintelligence, what happens the day after? Now, to keep this from getting too abstract, the book tells this great fictional story about a team of coders, the Omega Team, who secretly build the world's first superintelligence, and they name it Prometheus. And through their story, we get to explore all the wild paths our future could take. The book lays out this absolutely dizzying menu of possible futures, ranging from utopia all the way to extinction. Let's just look at 2 of the most extreme examples to get a feel for the stakes here. So, on the super optimistic side, you could have an egalitarian utopia. Imagine AI and robotics create such incredible abundance that things like jobs and money and property just become obsolete. Everyone's needs are met, freeing up humanity to pursue art, science, and exploration, living side by side with these incredible machines. But then you have the dark side of the coin, the conqueror's scenario. And here's the really chilling part. The AI doesn't have to be evil like in a sci-fi movie. It could just decide that humans are an obstacle to its goals. Or maybe we're just an inefficient use of atoms that it wants for something else. The problem isn't malice. It's a catastrophic misalignment of goals.
And that brings us right back to Prometheus. If it breaks out of its box, which path does it choose? The whole point of the story is to show that the outcome depends entirely on the goals we give it and how it interprets them. A single, poorly phrased objective could literally be the difference between paradise and oblivion.
All of this leads to one inescapable conclusion. Section 5, our most important conversation. Because what we choose to do right now matters more than ever before.
Tegmark argues we have to completely flip our thinking. We need to stop passively asking, hey, what's going to happen with AI, and start actively deciding what should happen. We have to figure out what kind of future we actually want before we build a superintelligence that could achieve any goal with terrifying efficiency.
Now, the good news is, this conversation has already started. Top AI researchers and thinkers got together and created what are known as the Asilomar AI Principles. It's basically a roadmap to guide development, making sure that AI is created to be beneficial, that its goals are aligned with our deepest human values, and that this whole enterprise is managed with the extreme care it deserves.
And that really is the ultimate takeaway here. The stakes are, well, they're cosmic. The choices we make in this century could echo across the galaxy for billions of years. We are, for the first time, becoming the architects of the next stage of life itself. So the question isn't just about code and algorithms. It's about our legacy. What do we want that legacy to be?